There was a time in my life when I struggled with accepting my family of birth. Yes, I recognize that there was some dysfunction. I wished I wasn't born into that family. I wished that some magic would happen and I'll be born into another family. And aside that, there was some part of myself that I was not so comfortable with. I had this deep neck when I was a teenager, and I felt that was not beautiful, that was not acceptable. We all struggle with accepting some part of ourselves, especially those parts that seem to be negative. We tend to deny it, we tend to reject it. Do you have any part of yourself or your family that you rather reject than accept? If you'd like to share with us, you can drop it in the comment section down below this video. So you see, this is not peculiar to one person. This self-rejection, we struggle as humans because of the culture of the world that we are in, because of the system of the world that we are in. But today I want us to look at self-acceptance and how that can transform your life. Welcome again to my channel. I'm your girl Mary, and I'm glad you're here to join me on today's episode. And today we're looking at the path to self-acceptance. So we've looked at some parts of ourselves that may not be so glossy. They look ugly. They're not the beautiful pictures of us. They are those faces without the makeup. We don't want to expose that to public. We don't even want to accept ourselves sometimes when we're without makeup. We think we're ugly. There was an exercise I learned some years back. The mirror exercise. We're going to do this exercise today. But before we do the mirror exercise, I want us to review what is self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is accepting the totality of who you are, both positive and negative, the entire you. Not running away from that negative and say, that's not me. Yes, that's you. That family, that's part of your identity. That shadow part of you, that dark side of you is still part of you. When I came to understand self-acceptance and totally accept who I am, it changed me in a way that I didn't envisage. So on this journey of creating the best version of ourselves, there are so many things to learn. So many things to learn. And in our learning, we learn to unlearn certain information, certain things that didn't serve us. And then we relearn what serves us now. I had to unlearn self-rejection, and I had to relearn self-acceptance. Accepting the entirety of your story. This story of abuse, this story of childhood traumas, this story of recklessness, this story of selfishness, they're all part of your story. In addition to the story of the promotion, in addition to the story of the celebrations, those positive and the negative stories make up the entire you, not some parts. But a lot of us want to only showcase the good sides, the positive sides. Sometimes transformation happen even in the dark sides of us. Self-acceptance brings you to an understanding that your self-worth. I talked about self-worth. You may want to review that video right here. Your self-worth and your value as a human being is way more than the personality traits. Self-acceptance helps you to accept. It's positive, it's negative, accept it. Don't try to run away from it. Don't try to deny it. Don't try to push it away. Accept it. It's just like the emotions that we talk about. If you've reviewed the emotional intelligence video, we say there is no emotion, whether we call it positive emotion or negative emotion. There is no emotion that is bad. They have a function, they have a role to play in our lives. That's why they are there. Acceptance of the emotion brings us to a place of peace and a place of maturity. You accept the emotion, you let it be. Same with ourselves. We must accept all parts of ourselves. That is not to say that if there is a dark side that needs changing, that we shouldn't change it. The way to live is that we bring the light onto that dark side when we accept first. Because if you don't even acknowledge that this is a dark, there's no way to change it. There must be clarity about what is dark and what is light. There must be clarity. So self-acceptance brings you to a place of forgiveness. So that part of yourself that needed to be forgiven, that you've made that mistake and you want to hide it, you want to reject it, that's not me. But it was you. It's part of your story. There was a research study that shows that self acceptance and forgiveness go hand in hand. They go together. Without accepting of self, without accepting of that mistake, you can't even forgive yourself of that mistake. Forgiveness opens the door to many other doors. You have to forgive yourself so you can be at peace with yourself. Many people are living in turmoil, in chaos within their own self because they can't forgive some part of what they've done in the past. Oh, it's so horrible, they say. But without forgiveness, you're living in hell even right here. You're living in hell in your own body. You're living in hell in your own mind because you disconnected that part of yours. It segregates you, and that part has been separated because you don't want to even look at that part. It's so horrible, you see. And it's something that has happened in the past, not in the present moment. And if you dwell on that past, you'll just get stuck in there, unable to move forward and enjoy all that there is in this present moment. So self-acceptance will bring you to a place of forgiveness. And forgiveness will bring you to a place of wholeness, healing, a place of health, a place of growth, a place of peace. Self-acceptance also breeds self-confidence. I suffered greatly with low self-esteem because my teeth were colored. I've talked about it in several videos. I was shy and I lacked confidence in myself because I didn't accept that self. But that is not to say that if you can't change something, you should make effort to change. I made some effort to change my teeth, and I see that I approach life with a lot more confidence, especially since I've accepted not just the teeth, all the parts of myself, all the parts of my story. There's a lot more confidence with the way you approach the world. When you live with confidence, you don't need people's approval to live life. You don't need the validation of people to live your life because you're confident with your own self, in your own self and your own ability. You can live on your own terms in the world. Self-acceptance will bring you there. So that brings us to the mirror exercise.